Livy Dunn has big plans for her life. Life, however, has other plans for Livy. Pregnant and unmarried, she is sent away by her father, who has arranged for her to be married to a lonely farmer, Ray Singleton, in a small Colorado town.
Mr. Ray Singleton, this is Miss Olivia Dunn.
Initially, Livy and Ray are wary of each other. Ray is reticent to express his feelings, and the simple life of a farmer bores the worldly Livy. She doesn't plan on staying. She certainly doesn't plan on falling in love. But as the seasons pass, Livy comes to understand the quiet joy and small miracles of ordinary days.
Literally, she takes the train to meet somebody she's never seen before, and they get married that day, and then she has to go home with him that night.
It's a story the cast found intriguing.
I think the great thing is watching him fall in love with her. It's really kind of interesting how he evolves emotionally through the film, and how she opens him up.
I loved this story. The second I read it, it just struck me like this is a great love story with a wonderful background.
I love the dynamic of the Ray and Livy thing. I love the idea of being thrown into this relationship. It's cause for a lot of awkwardness.
How'd you meet?
And I love awkward.
The uneasy moments were a challenge for the actors, because the emotions and feelings of those scenes usually had to be expressed through body language and expression, not dialogue.
The one that kind of struck me as more important than I had initially thought was the first night they're together at the dinner table. Because it's so easy to sort of fall into, people being uncomfortable around each other, and I think we were able to really turn it into two people trying to really achieve something, and it just not gelling.
I can get a book from the library. Is there a library?
At first, understanding these two characters did not come easily for the actors.
This woman is so educated and has all these great things going for her. And I thought, how is this going to work? Will it be okay if she ends up staying? That was an issue for me.
Yeah, I was puzzled by it for a long time. Probably through 5 or 6 readings, I was still like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. But then it kind of reveals itself.
For Ulrich, the key to playing Ray was to figure out how and when his arrangement with Livy would become something deeper.
Beyond anything, you had to watch them fall in love, and it was just a matter of finding out where that happened. Those little things that go beyond the agreement that really sort of, tip in the favor of, him really just falling for her.
Each of the performers felt the same strong connection with their character.
What I liked is how unusual her circumstances. She's actually very educated, and in that period, to be in graduate school and get herself into this situation that she's in, and then be kind of stuck out in the middle of nowhere and have to, kind of get through this whole situation was really interesting to me.
I play Ray's sister, Martha, who it seemed like in the script when I read it, she almost seemed like, like she was the emblem or sort of the representative of all that is beautiful about simple, good farm stock. I liked the part because I thought the sort of challenge, I guess, would be to make that a character, make that a full-fledged human being.
Before the cameras started rolling, the cast had an opportunity to work out their roles in rehearsal.
I think we ultimately rehearsed a week, and it helped a lot. I think we all agreed pretty much the story was there, but we just wanted to flavor it a little bit here and there, and really make it, kind of bittersweet.
It becomes a completely different story once you meet the people you're acting with, for instance. Meeting Skeet, seeing actually who he is and working with him creates such a different story than what you were picturing. He's so kind. It's very difficult to be mean in any way. And Livy, in this way, is forced into this situation. So the real people temper everything.
During rehearsal, everyone found their own favorite moment in the story.
I loved in the rehearsals we got to do some dancing, because there's this big dance sequence in this, and So Mare and Steve and Skeet and I all had to go to dance class, which was very fun.
The one that holds, I think, the magic of Ordinary Days is Martha's birthday party when Ray's trying to teach Livy to dance, because it just feels like just the setup with Ray saying, you know, Martha just loves to dance. Just happiness in this simple coming together of community. The most powerful scenes in the movie aren't ordinary in any way.
I mean, the scene where he sort of professes his love to her, I think, is, you know, really the first time he's kind of emotionally vulnerable.
I know you may have your mind set on leaving, but I can't let you go without telling you how I feel. I've fallen in love with you.
Although they had never met or worked together before, Kerry Russell and Skeet Ulrich did have a connection.
A director friend of mine, Matt Reeves, who created Felicity, had worked with Skeet. I called Matt and said, what do you know about this Skeet Ulrich guy? And he said, oh, I think he's really good. I think you'd really like him. I think you should do it. And I think he's great. He just has a real kind of goodness in him, and Ray has that as well. So I think it works very nicely.
I had worked with some people that had worked with her, and just spoke so highly of her, and I couldn't agree more. She's just a joy to be around.
Mare Winningham is making her third Hallmark Hall of Fame appearance. She received Emmy nominations for her 2 earlier roles, but her first, in 1985, remains a most treasured memory.
First time was maybe the best TV experience I've ever had, so Love Is Never Silent remains, you know, probably my favorite television movie that I've been in, and God knows I've been in, I don't know, 50 or 60 or 70 of them.
Well, Mare is just, I mean, she's amazing to be around. She's just such a great energy about her.
Mare Winningham, who's in this, I love her. I just love her so much. We have probably a little too much fun on set.
You know what? It's going to be hard for me to talk about her without laughing, because we've just hit this, our sense of humors have just collided in the last few days.
The Bachelor is on right now on TV, and before takes, we're always taking turns being the girls that are on that show.
No. First Carrie, then me. I did nothing.
Although everyone enjoyed working on the movie, there were a number of logistical challenges, such as the weather in the Calgary area.
We'll be out here shooting, and then you'll see this cloud come in within 30 minutes. It's snowing or hailing.
We have had every season. There was one day we had every season twice.
Even though they were shooting in May and June, the forecast one day called for significant snowfall.
And everybody laughed at me. They said, it's never going to happen. We got up at 6 o'clock in the morning and drove out to this location, and sure enough, there was snow on the ground. And so we made the call to go out there, and we actually shot in the snow. That's the one time I would say that we capitalized on the weather. Otherwise, it's been just dealing with the weather as best we can.
The train in the opening sequence was also a special challenge.
The only problem we had was the way the station is laid out, the train was going in the wrong direction. We needed it turned around. There's no roundhouse, no Y-track, no nothing.
They'd about given up when they discovered a very unique truck.
It's this very low flatbed truck that lifts at one end. You put rails on it. The train is winched up, and it's flattened out, it's turned around, and it's put back, and it's going the other way.
Cars from the 1940s also had to be located.
There aren't that many around, and the ones that are around, especially the convertible, like the one we're using today, are extremely valuable.
Much of the clothing was brought in from Los Angeles costume shops that specialize in the period. But many of Livy's maternity outfits had to be custom made. The attention to detail gives the film its background of authenticity. But in the end, it's the story that enchants the audience. And the lesson that Livy and Ray learned is to make the best of what life gives you and recognize the small miracles that can happen on ordinary days.